Chattle, a Star Wars podcast, baby, starring yours truly, Eastside Dave. Some call me Davey Mac. On this show, I am known as Darth David. Tonight, we will go over Maul, episodes 7 and 8. Give you a little Star Wars news and get the heck out of here as we are approaching the end of the Maul Season 1. Maul Shadow Lord Season 1. I don't call it that, as we've discussed here on the Yaddle Chattle program. I'm sorry. The name Maul is just perfect. So for here, we're calling it Maul and only Maul. Maul Season 1 will be coming to close next Monday when they reveal chapters 9 and 10. But we're going to go over chapters 7 and 8 today and give you, a Star Wars news nugget or two, as not only are we coming to the end now of Maul, but we're coming close to the beginning of the release of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Hello, Star Wars excitement. We got all kinds of stuff. We got Burger King meals. I'm a Yankees fan. The Yankees are going all out this weekend with Star Wars Day. It's not just Star Wars Day, it's Star Wars weekend. They're doing a lot of stuff. I actually have a few of those, a few of the treats and whatnots that will be going on at Yankee Stadium. That's my team. I'm sure your team is doing some sort of Star Wars promotion, I would assume. But the Yankees and Star Wars, always very powerful allies. Some people don't want to hear that. But the Yankees actually play the Imperial March when they get brought out onto the field. Sometimes they go with the Luke Skywalker theme song, but other times they just embrace being the evil empire of baseball and they do the Imperial March. I got no issues with either. All right, but as for tonight's Yaddle Chattle, episode 119. Can you believe that? Holy mackerel. Let's get into Maul, Chapter 7, Call to Oblivion. We start with Star Destroyers overhead, Empire installing a curfew. They've taken over. I know as a child, I didn't like curfews. When my parents would say, you've got to be in bed by 8:30, I'm saying, what the hell is up with that? So now I can't watch Family Ties? Because it's Cosby Show at 8 p.m. and Family Ties at 8:30? Everyone knows this, mother, is what I would say at the age of 7. Now, looking back on it, I shouldn't have even watched the Cosby Show, I suppose. But I'm just saying, not one for a curfew. And as an adult, I can't respect your curfew. What? I can't go out of my house? I guess we did have some curfews, didn't we, about 6 years ago? Not a big fan, though, of someone saying, curfew, go to bed, go back to your house and go to sleep now. No. We're in the train tunnel with Darth Maul and Devin and Riley. They're walking. Devin and Riley are making a little plan. They're like, this guy's very scary looking. We need to get away from him as soon as possible. Maul's like, you're only 6 feet away from me. I can hear you. So, yeah, you can leave me if you want. You realize there's 2 Inquisitors? Okay? You're aware of this? And the 2 Inquisitors, the first brother is Merrick, and then the 11th brother, does he not have a name? I don't want to have to remember which brother and sister these people are, the Inquisitors. Okay? It's too much. Too much rankings and numbers and this and that. I like that Merrick has a name. Can we give this guy, because this guy is awesome looking. I did Google, it says he's known as the Crow. But no one's ahead not to my knowledge, have they called him the Crow. So can we give him a name, please? Thank you. Also, Maul's like, and also, while you're scheming, you're walking very slowly, like you're stopping. Pick it up, please. We're being hunted, he actually has to tell them. Devin says she's got to get the boy back to his father, and Riley's like, boy? How dare you? I'm an actual man, even though his voice cracks like the stereotypical teenage character from The Simpsons. Riley, I'm sorry, buddy. You're not a man. You gotta make sure that the voice doesn't crack. Just lower the voice. You can do it on your own. You fake it till you make it. From now on, this is Darth David's new voice. Hello. See? This is what you gotta do, Riley. Son? Kind of feel like I sound like Brandon Lawson there. If I had a little bit of a Brazilian accent, like Wagner Moura does. Son? 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 I will be back home, son, after the police station. Call your mother, waste her time. I'll be right back with you, son. I'll be at your lacrosse game. Don't worry about it. Glug, glug, glug. Dad makes a lot of promises he can't keep. Son, this year we're going to WrestleMania. I'm getting us tickets. He's not really getting us tickets. Lawson and Docky are above ground while Maul, Devin, and Riley are below ground. They're walking back to Maul's lair. Lawson and Docky, meanwhile, are above, and they're trying to find out where everybody is. Trying to find these kids. Maul, meanwhile, we go back to him, and he says, Devin, you fought well. He talked a little smack about, though, Devin's master and then his own master. And he says, unfortunately, my former master's still alive, unfortunately. But finally, he gets to his lair. There's Spybot. Spybot has been talking more and more English. When we first saw Spybot in episode 1, I thought he just talked alien. Now he even said to Riley, he said, good luck staying alive. I mean, what is this? What, Spybot's now, just perfect with the English? Seems a little strange to me. Merrick, he's on top of the city looking very much like Batman, looking ominous, looking down. We're like, oh, wonder what's going on there. Back to Maul's crew. Rook gives Maul all the updates, and then she says the Imperials are closing in. We got to get out of here. We got to find a ship, find some kind of transport, get the hell off this stupid planet once and for all. And then there's Devin and Riley, and they look to escape from Maul while he's talking with his crew. She's like, oh, his head's turned. Let's get the hell out of here. But, I mean, they barely get 35 feet away. They start going down, climbing down a ladder or something. And Maul's just like standing there like, trying to get away from me, are you? And then Maul uses the Force to push back Riley. He engages lightsabers with Devin, so it looks like it's going to be a little Maul-Devin. I won't say a full-on duel. I get the sense that Maul could easily handle Devin in a fight, but he's training her. He's trying to lure her, he's trying to manipulate her, he's trying to get her to the dark side, do classic Sith stuff. But as that's happening, whole bunch of stormtroopers start landing, whole bunch of ships, and we get a serious battle. And I love these two kind of battles, mini battles, if you were, because they reminded me very much of Clone Wars when there's just like 8 million lasers from one side going to 8 million lasers. Maul's crew's got some firepower. The one's Zabrak with the machine gun and all kinds of stuff. They got rifles, they got automatic weapons. Meanwhile, there's stormtroopers over here. So it's pretty action-packed stuff. I really dug it. Oh, by the way, remember last episode of Yaddle Chattle? I'm like, we got to see a Spybot versus Imperial probe droid, matchup. They gave it to us, but the thing only lasted 3 seconds. Spybot destroyed that Imperial probe droid. To me, squash match? What's that all about? There should have been more of a struggle there. And I didn't like when Spybot's like, die, you Imperial scum. Whoa, whoa, whoa. He's calling them Imperial scum. I don't want to start to feel like these are the good guys. I know that they're not for the Empire, but I don't know how I feel about it. And by the way, can I just say this? Does any franchise use the word scum more than Star Wars? I think not. Star Wars pretty much is trademark scum. You don't get a lot of scum in other franchises, you know? You don't get like Spider-Man calling Dr. Octopus like you scientific scum. Scum is very Star Wars. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I don't need Spybot using it. Stormtroopers descend. Maul's crew, they, full on battle. Devin joins Maul's side. She starts attacking Stormtroopers. She's cutting them down left and right. Riley hides behind some boxes or whatnot, some crates. Riley's a little soft. I'm sorry. A little weak. Riley. I mean, I don't know what he's necessarily supposed to do, but his father's a longtime cop and probably former bounty hunter, right? You'd think he'd have a little bit of fighting skills to him. Is it all about the lacrosse? The Botetkin? Whatever that sport is called? So the Stormtroopers, they're engaging. Big battle. And then just as Devin is kicking a bunch of Stormtroopers' ass, the Stormtroopers take Riley, put him on the ship, fly away. Not good. Devin tries to fly on the ship. She can't get it. Not good. And just as that ship is taken off, another ship descends, and it's the Inquisitor. And now he has a friend. Merrick, first brother, is here with 11th brother, the Crow, people are calling him. We've seen him on Tales of the Jedi, episode 6, where he faced off against Ahsoka Tano. Sith chanting, I just love. Can I just say this? I can't get enough of Sith chanting. First of all, are you aware that Kevin Kiner is not only doing the soundtrack here, doing the score, but 2 other Kiners are credited? I'm assuming it's his children. I think it seems to be a son and a daughter, or at least a boy and a girl. So unless that's brother and sister, or brother and daughter, or sister and son, I mean, it's a lot of combinations. I could have just looked it up on Wikipedia. I apologize. Because this is crazy. Brother, sister, son, father, daughter, niece, nephew, auntie, uncle. Too much. All I know is it's 3 Kiners doing the score for this. You're doing a bang-up job. I love Sith chanting. I wish they would do like a special album of Sith chanting for the 250th celebration of America. The semi-quintennial, I believe is what it's called. 250, semi-quintennial. And then we can get some Sith chanting, some patriotic Sith chanting, and, sell the albums at Barnes & Noble's, stores in the music section. I'll go buy one. Docky and Lawson, meanwhile, they're down in the tunnel retracing Devin and Riley's steps when they were walking with Maul to Maul's lair. And just as that happens, hey, here comes Devin. That was kind of easy. Maybe a little too easy. I don't know. Docky did call it. He's like, listen, my Padawan and I have a major connection. Don't worry. She's just going to run into us. He kind of actually said that to Lawson. She literally ran into them in that tunnel. Back to Maul's crew as they dominate the Stormtroopers and they get going. Though we do see a couple of Mandalorians who are like, hey, we're going to take all these credits, huh? And there's Rook, and she's like, put him down. We're on the run from 2 double red lightsaber wielding Inquisitors who want to murder us all. Put down the crates of cash. Hey, look, that's where, if you're smart, you bury that stuff like the pirates did back in the olden times. These Mandalorians, no creativity. It's just like, I got to put, there's millions of credits here. I got to put it in. She's like, yes, we have to jump down things. And they did. They had to jump down like a couple levels and stuff. They weren't going to be able to bring that crate with them. It was stupid. But by God, friends, hide it. Then when you're safe, you come back and you get it. Dummies. Meanwhile, Riley, he's on that ship, and we see that the ship goes to the police station. They take Riley out. He's under Imperial control. Riley wants to see Two Boots, who we learn did he get the name not because of the boots, but because his actual droid name is TBOT. TBOT. Now, to me, that would read as Two-Bot. Like, hi, Two-Bot. But then again, he's also wearing boots. So, okay. I guess it doesn't take that much of a strain to go from Two-Bot to Two Boots. I'm just saying, the way it's written out, I'd be calling him Two-Bot. Anyway, Two Bots doesn't like that Lieutenant Blake is detaining Riley because Riley's underage. So now Lieutenant Blake is breaking protocol. He's bending the rules. He's the one who's acting illegally. Two Bots, see? I should have never learned his droid name. Two Boots sees this. And Two Boots is starting to see that the Empire doesn't obey protocol, and they kill people. Because that's when they learned that Chief, there's another cop there, just a good old-fashioned, Brendan Lawson type cop, and he's like, yeah, they didn't transfer her, dummy. This is what the cop is saying to Two Boots. They transferred her permanently. In other words, killed her. Droid. Called euphemism. Okay? Unbelievable. We go back to the Maul crew. They're walking to, I guess, to a ship. They realize they got to get out of there. They got to get off world. The Mandalorians, a couple of them are still complaining. Rook then goes to Maul, and she's like, look, you got my loyalty, but a couple of the guys in the back, they need to get paid. They're whining. They're bitching and moaning about not having any cash on them. Hey, it happens. People need to get paid. They need to get paid fairly. Meanwhile, Lawson, we go back to Lawson. He's with Docky and Devin, and he's calling Two Boots. Two Boots doesn't answer. By the way, those little comm links, we've been seeing them around since episode 4, New Hope. Luke Skywalker calling 3PO from the trash compactor and being like, shut down all the garbage on the detention level. Shut down all the garbage cells on the detention level. Don't shut them all down. Oh, shut them all down. They're dying on to. Listen to them. But I wasn't aware that comlinks had a little, phone ring on them. Oh, that's fun. And do you think they have the ability to do a little ringtone? I don't know why the ringtone would be tequila, but I mean, what ringtone do you want? Mine would be tequila. If I was in the Star Wars galaxy. Then again, they don't even have tequila in the Star Wars galaxy, more than likely. It'd be called, Jawa juice or something. Can you, the nerve of Two Boots to not only hang up on Lawson, but to put the comm link in the drawer. I've done that a couple times. And I wonder if Two Boots had a ringtone, if it would be Mr. Roboto. That would be suiting for him. Tequila for me, Mr. Roboto for Two Boots. Maul's crew then, they're on the outskirts of the city. I will say the one thing that I was a little confused about was simply the location. Like, it seemed like they were going in like a subway, but then all of a sudden it seemed like a cave system. But then there were trees. It was like a jungle. I don't know. The makeup of the planet was a little hard to wrap my head around in some ways. they're on the outskirts of the city, and once again, here come more stormtroopers. Here come the two Inquisitors, Merrick and the 11th brother. Another huge battle ensues. Maul's crew takes on the stormtroopers while there's a big 2-on-1 lightsaber duel between Maul and the two Inquisitors. Unbelievable stuff. This was some sensational action. Lightsaber duels on multiple levels up here, then they drop down, then they drop down again. Very, very cool stuff right there. Massive battle upstairs, up between the stormtroopers and Maul's crew looked great. Like I said, it reminded me of a Clone Wars battle scene. Very, very fantastic. Maul hides and pulls a little, Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi. And then when the two, when the one Inquisitor, the 11th brother is there, he pops out. But that doesn't really help him that much. It's a very, let's be honest, it's a beatdown that the two Inquisitors give Maul. The 11th brother hits him in the leg with the lightsaber. It seems like he's on his heels. It seems like Maul is going to be taken out. He's fallen to his knees, and the two Inquisitors are right there with the red lightsabers. He's dead. They're going to behead this son of a bitch. And they even tell him, they go, "The Emperor wants you dead. You're not coming back to the Sith playground anytime soon, buddy. No spot in the Empire for you. You're dead. You're dead meat, man." And Maul's like, likewise. And he at first it looks like he's putting his hands up to surrender. In fact, he's doing a little force maneuver where this is one of the parts where they looked like they were in a kind of a cave type of thing. And Maul gets all the rocks of the cave to drop down on the Inquisitor's head. End of episode. Listen, folks. Great episode. Action-packed. Good story. Good development. And let's go right into Chapter 8. Episode 8. The Creeping Fear. By the way, I don't know why it took me so long, but I noticed on the little Disney introduction, where they have the different masks and droids and stuff, they put Merrick's mask in there. My only little criticism with that is that's too dark. They gotta brighten that up and saturate the colors a little bit. Let's make this thing pop. Number 2, why just masks and droids? I mean, put Yoda's face up there. Chewbacca. Let's get some heads. Come on. It's Disney animation. Let's figure out how to get some people on that thing. But Merrick's head made it. We start the episode with Maul bringing the rocks down on them. So they start episode 8 with the end of episode 7. You see once again Maul collapsing the cave on the 11th brother and the first brother. Merrick and the 11th brother have no choice but to get the hell out of there. They're almost squashed by the rocks. So they get on one of those ships that was carrying the stormtroopers, and they leave. They're gone. No sign of Maul, says Rook. They can't find him. We, the audience, find Maul lying on the ground, rocks covering him. He has to get those rocks out of him. He sees there's a little stream, and he sees his own reflection in that stream, and he says, "I hate you." Doesn't like himself, this Maul. He needs that Al Franken character. I forget, Stewart, whatever, who was always, look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and damn it, people like me." Maul's got to start believing in the power of positivity a little more, in my opinion. He's a little glass half empty type of guy. I suppose if you were sawed in half by a Jedi and then betrayed by a Sith, you'd probably be a little cynical too. Okay, fine. Anyway, we go to the police station, and Blake puts Riley in the interrogation room, and out comes the Crow, a.k.a. the 11th brother, or maybe that's the other way around. The 11th brother, a.k.a. the Crow. Very scary character. Love him. Now I wish Ahsoka didn't kill him. Did she kill him in that episode 6 of Tales of the Jedi because I haven't watched it. I should have watched it before the show. I had every intent of doing it, and I just didn't have the time. So sue me. And if you are going to sue me, my lawyer's name is Neil Unger. Thank you very much. Two Boots talks to a regular cop who tells Two Boots, this is what we were saying before, that the chief is dead. And Two Boots is like, okay, I get it. All the stuff that Lawson was saying, yeah, this empire, no good. So when Lawson calls Two Boots, finally Two Boots picks up. And he's like, dude, I'm sorry. I see what you're talking about there. And basically Lawson's like, okay, get my kid out of the police station. I'll meet you at Docking Bay 3. We'll trade. I'll go in. You get my kid out. I thought that's weird that Lawson was going in that direction. You know, because it's like, if you're going to get Two Boots to break your son out of the police station, I mean, your son's going to be a fugitive. Like, you're already a fugitive. Like, why give yourself up? That's not going to help anybody. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help your son. So I thought Lawson was I guess he wanted to be honorable and trade his, freedom for his kids. But in my opinion, it was just, no, break you're the kid out of jail and then get going. Meanwhile, Maul wandering around doing Maul stuff. And with that, what I mean by that is going insane. One character who loves talking to himself, very much like me, is Darth Maul. Maul loves talking to himself. Maul loves being philosophical. Maul loves looking back on mistakes that he's made, getting existential, and then getting downright crazy. I hate to say this, he reminds me of Charles Manson. There's the insanity, and then also the very lofty language, like apocalyptic, Book of Revelations type of stuff. That's Maul for you. The Charles Manson of Star Wars characters. So he's going crazy, and he's having flashbacks. Him and Savage Opress, his brother that we met at the Clone Wars when they were teenagers, and then the Emperor takes him, and Savage is like, don't do this. Don't go with him. And he's like, but I have to. I want to. And Savage is like, I don't think it's a good idea. And then the flashback of Obi-Wan Kenobi destroying him, which was very cool, jumping with, I guess, Qui-Gon's lightsaber. I never realized that he must have killed him with Qui-Gon's lightsaber because the lightsaber was green. I didn't realize that. Not that it makes a difference whose lightsaber he kills. I mean, whether it's blue Obi-Wan's lightsaber or Qui-Gon's green lightsaber, it doesn't really matter. I'm just saying, I didn't realize it. Don't judge me. And then it's Palpatine. Then he has a flashback of Palpatine killing his brother, which we saw in the Clone Wars. Green smoke from, I guess, those witches, who I love. I'm a big fan of those witches. Those are the good witches, not the acolyte singing bizarre female chanty songs. No, those witches sucked. The witches from Ahsoka and the Clone Wars, great. Witches of Dathomir. I love those witches. They're fantastic. Because they're Star Wars characters. They're Star Wars witches. This was really cool stuff. I loved all of these flashbacks. And that's it. And so after all these flashbacks, he realizes, he's like, Darth Sidious, a.k.a. Palpatine, I have to get you back for what you did to me, and I can't let you do this to anybody else. Interesting. It's kind of an interesting thing. Because, unfortunately, on planet Earth, a lot of serial killers were abused themselves. And Maul's now like a Dexter, like a serial killer, but who's also going to kill other serial killers. Because they're like way worse than him. That's what he is at this point. We go back to Devin, who is looking for some sort of, vehicle for the Lawsons and the Jedi and Two Boots. And she meets a couple of what I would describe as soprano type aliens. If aliens could be Italian Americans from North Jersey, and I'm not judging, I live in the state of New Jersey myself. I'm Central Jersey. Down here at the Jersey Shore, we call ourselves Central Jersey, not to be confused with soprano types in North Jersey, Philly meth head types in South Jersey. We're the normal ones in Central Jersey. Your Belmars, Bradley Beaches, Avons, Asbury Parks, Ocean Groves, Manasquans, Spring Lakes, Seagerts, Central Jersey, folks. Learn it. Love it. Anyway, she just destroys these three meatballs. Assumingly, that was one where I don't know why they didn't show us the action. It seemed like it probably didn't take her that long to beat these three very, I hate to say it, but three kind of situation Paulie D, Vinny type of, monsters. I would have liked to have seen her do a little quick martial arts scene where she just, snaps these guys' necks, even if she doesn't kill them, kicks him in the face, does this, that. I don't know why they didn't show that. But anyway, she beats them up and takes their car. So she's out of there. Meanwhile, we go back to the police station. Two Boots. He's got Riley. He's basically like, I'm getting you out of here, pal. I am going to be the hero. And just as he's about to leave, there's a couple of stormtroopers guarding the exit. And Two Boots looks great. I mean, he takes out his blaster. Boom, boom. 2 shots. Stuns. He doesn't kill them. He stuns them. He's very much a peaceful sort of robot, I suppose. So he'd be the police officer who would go with the taser rather than the revolver. Not a bad thing. Certainly not a criticism nor a compliment, just an observation. But I was impressed with his overall movement and how he was able to take down those 2 stormtroopers with his stun. He looked good doing it. And so he gets Riley the heck out of there. Some really good stuff right there. We go back to Maul. He's yelling. He's crazy. He's going nuts. He passes out. And then after he almost passes out, or he does pass out, he then looks in another puddle. There's puddles and streams all over this place, which may or may not be a cave or a subway station or something. Again, I was a little confused about the environment here. But he sees a young version of himself. And the young version of himself apologized. Or did he apologize to the young version of himself? Either way, he's basically saying, hey, it's not your fault. It's like, Robin Williams and Good Will Hunting over here. So Maul's crew is waiting for Maul. Vario doesn't want to wait. And just as Vario says that, who comes walking through the shadows? Maul! Vario, your timing is really, really bad. Anyway, we get back to the good guys, the Jedi and the Lawsons, and they're going through the ship now that Devin stole. And this chase scene was fantastic. It was short, but we got some stormtroopers on bikes. We got all kinds of fun stuff. Both Devin using her piloting skills, Daki using his Jedi Master skills. This was a great chase scene. One thing they're doing right on this show is action. The action sequences are phenomenal thus far on Maul. Well, we're 8 episodes in. So what we're going to say is in season 1, the action sequences have not disappointed in any way, shape, or form. The Lawsons and the Jedi, after basically, getting rid of those stormtroopers who were chasing them, they head to the casino. Rena's casino, the place that she owns. Riley's talking about being questioned by the 11th brother. He came across a little bit wussy-ish to me. I don't know. Riley's starting to get on my nerves a little bit, but it's not a show killing way. But he is a little too soft for me. I gotta say. I mean, my God, his pops is Lawson, for Christ's sakes. The Brader Lawson. He's all man. He's like the Marlboro man with the coffee and the mustache. And he's got this little, I gotta say it, little soft teenage kid with the stupid haircut. You know, when the kid acts like that, I get my own razor. I shave the head. I go, you're getting your head shaved. Even if I don't send you into the Marines, I'm going to make you look like one. So maybe you toughen up a little. Anywho, they head over to the casino. They're on an elevator, and that's when Devin says, I have an uneasy feeling about what's going on here. Are you sure you can trust Rena? Is what she says to Lawson. He's like, yeah, we're good buddies. And then Docky's like, I feel something too. And then even the kid's like, Dad, why don't you just call her? Lawson calls Rena. She says, she gives some sort of obviously giveaway the planet, I guess, something like that. But basically, through code, she tells Lawson, hey, yeah, you're walking into a trap. And so Lawson realizes, oh, everyone but me was right. It is a trap. However, they can't stop the elevator. Elevator's programmed already. And so the elevator goes down, it opens up, and stormtroopers plus the two Inquisitors are waiting for them. Uh-oh. Just as that happens, we go to Maul's crew. They've taken over Nico Demus's place. They're using his office. Vario drinking his booze. I'd do the same. And just as that happens, Vario gets a call from Crimson Dawn. Dryden Voss requests an audience. We head back to the thing with Rena. Rena, there's a whole bunch of stormtroopers, the two Inquisitors. She takes some sort of explosive and destroys the ship, and I don't know if she killed herself in the process. She definitely killed a lot of stormtroopers. The two Inquisitors survived, but we might have seen the last of Rena. And if that did happen, I'm okay with that. Because if we're killing off like the Chief and Rena, now we have like stuff at stake where cast members could die. So I'm okay with, some of these deaths here. And there it is. It ends with Vario saying Dryden Voss would like to see you, Darth Maul. He is requesting an audience. And by the way, important language. It was Dryden Voss who was requesting an audience for Maul, not the other way around. So I'm thinking Dryden Voss is going to ask Maul, hey, buddy, we need you to take over Crimson Dawn. There's a guy running it right now. I'm not into him, or you got some a-hole Pikes over there. It's like, and you got an issue with the Pikes apparently. You take over, I'll support you. Make me a capo. Boom. Pretty smart. This episode was sensational. Straight up sensational. This might have been my favorite episode of the entire series. It was Maul heavy. I love watching Maul have some sort of LSD, Jim Morrison psychedelic mental breakdown where he's seeing himself and the Emperor is there and the Savage Opress, and I think some Native American shaman is dancing in circles, whatever. But Maul ate some peyote just like the Lizard King and was tripping his you-know-what off. I love insane Maul. And the fact that every once in a while he goes a little crazy, goes off the deep end, I love it. It makes him a very unique character. Overall, with the action and the visuals, this show's a home run. And episode 8 was sensational. Had a long Facebook conversation with a gentleman who loves Star Wars, loves the Clone Wars, says I'm having a hard time getting into it. I said, you know what? Wait till it's over, binge watch the whole thing, because this is acting like a huge movie for me. But I have said it before, I'll say it again. This has the potential. This series has the potential to be the best show since the Clone Wars. Now, they have to follow through. And to me, following through is making Devin go to the dark side. It's not going to happen this season, but if we have 3 seasons, 5 seasons, by the end of that 3rd or 5th season, I want to see Devin dark side. Dark side Devin. Let's do a little bit of news. Well, before we do news, I'm going to give you my own conspiracy theory. I was watching the Maul. It was on. I was doing a little notes. And then as I was writing my notes, after episode 8, it went off and went immediately into the Acolyte. Now, the other day, because I'm so much enjoying Maul. See, here's how I know it's a good Star Wars project. Because good Star Wars projects make me then start binge watching different movies and shows in Star Wars. And because of Maul and Crimson Dawn and Dryden Voss, I goes to myself, I says, David, Darth David, you know what? It's been a while since you watched Solo. But you get a little Dryden Voss. Obviously, spoiler alert, you get Maul at the very end. You know what? Go watch Solo. So I watched Solo, and I love it. I love Solo. But instead of getting the credits, I get a little pop-up window, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, and then guess what happens? It goes into the Acolyte. Now, didn't we do a story last week where it says the Acolyte made it to the top 10 of Disney Plus TV shows? Not overall, but for TV shows, it was number 9 in the top 10. Well, here's my conspiracy theory. That's how! They're automatically, any Star Wars show that ends apparently is automatically going into the Acolyte. Or at least that happened with Maul. It happens with Maul. Go watch the end of episode 8 right now. Go test it, experiment, and see if it goes into the Acolyte. And it happened to me with Solo. So there's your conspiracy theory. That's how it landed in the top 10. They're faking it. They're faking the numbers. It's doing it because they're automatically pushing the Acolyte whenever these credits pop up. Come on, Disney. Be better than that. You should be pushing Clone Wars. You should be... Also, Disney should just make a Maul section. Why make us do all the homework? How come YouTube, you can do playlists and stuff, and a lot of these streaming services haven't figured that out yet? Make a Maul playlist, or at least a Maul section, because when you get the sections, the episode won't go into the next episode of that section. So in other words, if it's like only like, if it's like Obi-Wan, that's the section, and they have, an Obi-Wan episode of the Clone Wars that they like, and then an episode, it won't go into the next thing on the section, it'll go into the next Clone Wars episode. They have to figure out how to make a playlist or section, and then it just goes automatically into the next one. And they should have done this with Maul a long time ago. This thing should start with episode 1, Phantom Menace, for crying out loud. And then we do the Clone Wars, the important ones, or just all of the Clone Wars things. And then we do all the Tales of the thing, or then we do the Star Wars Rebels. Now we're doing Maul. Then we do the Solo thing. Come on. In chronological order. That's what I want. Not order, not chronological when they were released. The Star Wars timeline of chronological order. Could you do that for us, please, Disney? Do you have anyone working over there? Golly. Hollywood Reporter is saying that The Mandalorian and Grogu is tracking for $80 million for a 4-day Memorial Day weekend. If that is the case, that will be a very bad opening. To contrast or to compare, Solo opened to $104 million for 4 days over Memorial Day weekend. The first 3 days was 80 million. So their 3-day total was 80 million. For 4 days over the 4-day Memorial Day weekend, it was 104 million. And here's another one. Rise of Skywalker opened to 177 million for the extended weekend. Meanwhile, they're saying Mando and Grogu tracking for 80 million. I'm just hoping that, what does tracking mean? Yes, tracking means probably all the tickets bought now. It's still a projection. Star Wars fans, you got to go see this, and you got to see it at least twice in the movie theater opening weekend. It's got to be a big hit, because I don't want them to stop making Star Wars movies, but holy mackerel, that scares me. That really scares me. Jon Favreau says, quote, "We want to make an experience," speaking of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, "we want to make an experience that doesn't rely upon somebody already loving Star Wars, but gives them the opportunity to fall in love with it the way we have." He says he wants the next generation to feel the same way about Star Wars that he did when he saw it as a child. Nothing wrong with that, but I would say just make sure that you're not condemning, God forbid you have fans who are in their 40s who have simply loved Star Wars their entire lives. You don't want to antagonize, provoke, subvert these people, of which I am one, because it doesn't pan out. My thing has been, I don't know why Star Wars can't understand. They should be family friendly again. In other words, for everybody. These days, the parents, the people in their 40s or 50s, were people who love the original trilogy. People in their 30s love the prequel trilogy. You want these people watching Star Wars and excited for Star Wars. But guess what these people have? They have these little things called younglings, a.k.a. children. So the same people who were original trilogy fans and prequel trilogy fans, they multiply the fan base with their kids. So if you appeal to them, you could also appeal to the young kids. You could appeal to everyone. This was the mistake that Kathleen Kennedy made. She was like, well, no, screw all the other fans. The other fans who were desperate to come into our parks and spend all the money at our parks, but screw them in terms of the movies and TV shows. Screw them. They have to die so that Star Wars can grow. Doesn't make any sense. It never did. So I hope Jon Favreau gets the next generation, but boy, oh boy, I hope the Mando and Grogu is thinking about those original trilogy and prequel trilogy fans. I hope so. Finally, the Yankees have announced their special food and merchandise at Yankee Stadium to celebrate Star Wars weekend. That will take place on between Saturday, May 2nd through Monday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you, by the way, Yaddle heads, because we'll be coming to you next Friday. So may the 4th be with you. I'll say that right now. The items include a Star Wars Yankees specialty soda cup series, 2 Star Wars themed dessert concession items, 2 co-branded Yankees and Star Wars t-shirts, a co-branded souvenir mini bat, and a Max Fried Mandalorian bobblehead. That's a lot of stuff. And listen to this. Section 125, the concession stand, will have Mandalorian-inspired blue milkshake. It's going to be a blue vanilla shake, whipped cream, white and blue sprinkles, served in a Yankees souvenir ice cream flute. Oh my goodness gracious, that sounds fantastic. They also are going to have Grogu's Dirt Pudding Sundae. That's chocolate Mr. Softy ice cream, chocolate mousse, Oreo crumbs, whipped cream, green gummy frogs, and a blue macaroon served in a Yankees souvenir helmet cup. Okay, I'm getting that. I mean, maybe I'm getting them both. And I'm going to the game on Sunday just for this Star Wars crap. I'm not even going to lie to you. Yeah, I'm a diehard Yankees fan. But I need me some of this Mando and Grogu, ice cream. And that will do it. I love you all so much. So much is going on in the world of Star Wars. And I appreciate you spending a little time with me. Eastside Dave, Davey Mac, Darth David. Thank you for joining my galaxy. Until next time, this has been Yaddle Chattle, a Star Wars podcast. May the Force be with you!